The Maldives looks like the perfect destination. Clear water, private villas, total relaxation. But once you get there, you realize there's more to it than just luxury. And not everything is what people expect. There's a version of this place that exists beyond the brochures, beyond the influencer posts, beyond the carefully curated resort experiences that dominate your feed. Most people think the Maldives is only for expensive resorts. And yes, that side exists. But there's another version of the Maldives most people don't see. From private islands, to local communities, to experiences that feel completely different from what you imagine. The contrast between these worlds is striking. You can go from complete isolation to genuine connection, from engineered perfection to organic beauty, from Instagram moments to real moments that don't translate to a screen. If you're into discovering places beyond the typical version, make sure you're subscribed. We explore destinations a little differently here. Luxury resorts. Start with what everyone knows. Overwater villas. Private decks. Direct access to the ocean. Everything designed for privacy and comfort. This is the Maldives people see online. And it does look exactly like the photos. The resorts deliver on their promise. Breakfast brought to your villa. Infinity pools that blend into the horizon. Staff who remember your name and your preferences. Every detail considered. Every moment designed to feel effortless. Some resorts occupy entire islands. You arrive by seaplane or speedboat. The moment you step onto the dock, you enter a different reality. One where everything is taken care of, where the outside world feels very far away. But here's what most people don't expect. It's not the only way to experience it. The resorts are real. The luxury is genuine. But they represent just one layer of what the Maldives actually is. And for many travelers, focusing only on this layer means missing something fundamental about the place itself. Because just a short distance away, everything changes. Local islands. There are islands where locals actually live. Places like Maafushi. Smaller, more affordable, more real. Guest houses instead of luxury resorts. Local restaurants. Everyday life. You still get the same ocean, the same beaches. But the experience feels completely different. The guest houses are simple but welcoming. The owners often live on the same property. They'll tell you where to find the best reef for snorkeling. They'll recommend local caves that tourists rarely visit. They'll share stories about growing up surrounded by nothing but ocean. The prices are a fraction of what resorts charge. The experience is less curated, more spontaneous. You're not separated from the environment by luxury amenities. You're part of it. And somehow, the ocean feels even more present, because you're not just looking at it from a distance. You're living alongside it the way people have for generations. And then there's what's happening beneath the surface. Underwater experience, main highlight. This is where the Maldives really stands out. Underwater. Clear visibility. Coral reefs full of life. Snorkeling just a few steps from the shore. Swimming with sea turtles. Sometimes even manta rays or reef sharks. It doesn't feel like an activity. It feels like another world. The water is so clear you can see 30 meters ahead. The coral formations create entire landscapes beneath the surface. You drift over walls that drop into deeper blue. You follow schools of fish that move like synchronized systems. Manta rays are different. They're massive but graceful. Watching them move through the water feels almost meditative. They appear out of nowhere, circle the reef, then disappear back into the blue. And this is something most people don't fully expect before they go. They come for the beaches, for the resorts, for the relaxation. But it's the underwater world that changes how they see the Maldives. It's the reason people come back. It's the part they talk about years later. Because once you see that much life, that much color, that much movement happening just below the surface, the islands themselves start to feel like entry points, like the real experience is waiting underneath. Quick question: would you go to the Maldives for the luxury resorts or for the ocean experience? Let me know in the comments. But there's one moment most people don't forget: bioluminescent beach, unique experiences. On certain islands at night, the water glows. Bioluminescent plankton lighting up the shoreline. It looks unreal, almost like the ocean is glowing. You walk along the beach after dark. The waves crash gently against the shore, and with every movement, the water lights up. Blue, electric, like something out of science fiction. You step into the shallows and the glow surrounds your feet. You run your hand through the water and trails of light follow your fingers. It feels impossible, like the ocean is responding to you. Some people stand there for an hour, just watching, just trying to understand what they're seeing, trying to believe it's real. Then there's sandbanks, tiny strips of sand in the middle of the ocean, nothing around you. Just water in every direction, completely quiet, completely different from what most people imagine. You arrive by boat. The captain drops you off and tells you he'll return in an hour. You step onto the sand. The boat leaves, and suddenly you're alone. No buildings, no other people, no sounds except the ocean. You can walk the entire length in 5 minutes. The water is shallow on all sides. You're standing in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by everything. It's the kind of experience that makes you rethink scale, makes you rethink isolation, makes you realize how much of the planet is just water and sky. These moments don't show up in resort packages. They're not guaranteed. They depend on timing, location, weather. But when they happen, they redefine what the Maldives means to you. So why do people keep coming here? The Maldives isn't just resorts. There's culture here too. Local food influenced by the ocean. Fresh fish, coconut-based dishes, simple flavors. Small communities where life moves slower. The traditional cuisine reflects the environment. Fish curry. Tuna prepared a dozen different ways. Coconut incorporated into nearly everything. Rashi, a flatbread that accompanies most meals. The flavors are clean, direct. There's no need for complexity when the ingredients are this fresh. You taste the ocean. You taste the coconut groves. You taste generations of cooking methods passed down through island families. On local islands, you can eat at small caves where everything is made to order. The portions are generous. The prices are reasonable. The atmosphere is casual. You sit next to locals finishing their lunch break. You hear conversations in Divi. You become part of the everyday rhythm instead of observing it from a distance. It's a different side of the destination that most visitors don't explore, because most people stay inside the resort bubble. They eat international cuisine prepared by trained chefs. They experience comfort and familiarity, which is fine, but it's not the full story. The full story includes fishermen repairing nets, includes women preparing meals for their families, includes children learning the same routes around the islands that their grandparents knew by heart. The culture is quiet. It doesn't perform for tourists. It simply exists. And if you take the time to notice it, it adds depth to everything else you see. So what is the Maldives really? It's not just luxury. It's contrast. Private villas, local islands, underwater worlds, all in one place. And most people only experience one version of it. They choose the resort or the guest house. They snorkel or they stay dry. They interact with locals or they stay isolated. But the Maldives works best when you see it as layers, when you understand that each version reveals something different. The luxury resorts show you what's possible when design and nature align perfectly. The local islands show you how people actually live surrounded by ocean. The underwater world shows you that the surface is just the beginning. That's why the Maldives isn't just what you expect. It's more than that. If you enjoy exploring places like this in a different way, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more coming. And let me know in the comments, what part of the Maldives would you want to experience most? Would you choose the isolation of a private villa, the authenticity of a local island, the underwater world that exists just below the surface? Or would you try to experience all of it, understanding that each layer adds context to the others? Because that's what makes the Maldives different. It's not one thing, it's everything at once. And the version you experience depends entirely on what you're looking for.